your week went. So this week was about preparing you for what was to come today, and here we are. We have arrived, right? So basically, I want to know how it went on these different things. So one of the things we were working on was sugar reduction, right? How many of you counted up how many times you had added sugar in your day? Yeah? Okay, good. Anyone want to share? Anything surprising?
For me, it depended on the day. Like Saturday after I left, I was at festival.
Oh no.
So we tried like different little treats. So for that day, I had like 6 or 7.
Okay.
And then just throughout the week, I kind of counted it. And the most added sugar that I have is when I add like honey
Yep.
to my oatmeal or something. So it depends, but it wasn't crazy.
Okay.
So I was proud of that.
Cool.
Yeah, I think for us, well, I say because we're together, our stuff seems to be hidden somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were very mindful, and even when we left here, we went straight into the cupboard, and for the most part, we're pretty much vegan, what have you, and we always count our sugar and grams and all that stuff, but for some reason, like, I gained a pound, and it was just bizarre, so. And we've talked about this during the week, like, where is it hidden for us? Because we don't do a whole lot of sauces.
Did you find it?
No.
Oh.
I haven't.
There's a few things, like we do oat milk
Okay.
with matcha in the morning, and there's only one store that carries sugar-free oat milk.
Yeah.
And so I'll get lazy and not want to go to 3 different stores to get whatever we get.
Yeah.
I'll just get the one that has 8 grams, but you have to, drink a whole 8 ounces. You're only putting it in a coffee or matcha. But that adds up.
Now, is that added sugar? Or is it, well, yeah, but sugar is naturally occurring in oats and fruit, but we're talking added sugar. Got it. Okay. Cool.
Or like we do prunes. Prunes have a ton of sugar. It's not added.
Right.
But in general, I think for years of trying to have no sugar.
Yeah.
So in some ways
I got you.
Yeah.
For sure. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone else calculate how many added sugars they had per day and were surprised with how many of them? No? Yes? No?
I don't have a lot.
You don't have a lot. Good. Well, that's awesome, guys. We have a head start then, right? If it's not a lot, it means we don't have a far way to come from. Yeah.
I have a question. Does sugar alcohol count? I was eating a protein bar and it had included sugar.
Yep. We count that as an added sweetener, added sugar. Absolutely. Good. Okay. So we're good there. How about alcohol reduction? Did we count up how many drinks we're having a week and start to reduce that down for anyone who's a drinker? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No? Yeah? Okay.
For me, it was just 3.
3 a week?
The whole week.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And that's down from?
Probably about 4 or 5.
Okay. Good. Very good.
There wasn't a whole lot of stuff that we're doing, but there's little more.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good. Sleep. How many of you started to put some attention on your sleep and figuring out your 8 hours of sleep time? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Any improvement in sleep already just by putting some attention on it?
A little bit.
Bit?
Just being more cognizant about being in bed earlier. Because I'm a reader, so trying to get to bed a little bit earlier so I get some of that in.
Yeah.
Which helps me just like one.
Right. Yeah.
It does.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Okay. And then 5 to 6 workouts a week, right? How many of you did that? Raise your hand. You nailed it. Got your movement in?
Just walking at Disney Channel.
Walking it. You went to Disneyland this week? Dang,
Wow.
lucky. Oh my gosh.
10 miles a day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know. Disney's like that. Yeah. So this is going to be a really important piece of this program is moving 5 to 6 days a week. Ideally you're doing every day, you're getting some activity in, but 5 to 6 is our minimum to really see the success of this program happen for you. And remember, our purpose is to get body fat off your body. That's the whole reason we're here. Okay. Just to keep us focused on the purpose of this program. Cool. Okay, good. Well, let's get into it. So, we talked a little bit about this last Saturday, but we want to tell you how this program began, how it became what it is. We have done different challenges as a gym and as a community to improve our nutrition. The first one we ever tackled was called the 800 gram challenge. The 800 gram challenge is based on a study. It's a meta study, which means it pulls information from a whole bunch of different studies and looks at it all as one body of data. This meta study included, well, actually, we'll go into bigger details next Saturday, but it included a ton of participants because of how many studies it included. And what it found was that people who ate 800 grams in weight of fruits and vegetables a day had an increase in their health outcomes. They had an improvement in their health outcomes. So eating lots of fruits and vegetables, 800 grams or more, that was the line, made a difference in health outcomes. We're talking about all the different diseases that could affect your body, all of them, okay? And we'll deep dive into that next week. This week, we're going to talk about the next element, which was, so this challenge was about getting 800 grams of fruits and vegetables a day. And we got really good at eating our fruits and vegetables. Cool? Then we did another challenge because what we found was that people got really good at eating their fruits and vegetables, but they forgot to eat their protein. Right? So we weren't maintaining our muscle mass as well as we could have if we were also focusing on that protein side of things. So this new challenge was called the Lazy Macros Challenge, where we ate protein and fruits and vegetables. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about these challenges is there was no elimination. You could eat whatever you want. You could have your chocolate at night. You could have a drink here or there. It wasn't about eliminating food. It was about supporting your body for health. Okay. And we've all been on a million diets. Yeah. Everyone's done a diet. Can't have this, can't have that. These are the opposite. These are eat lots of fruits, vegetables, and protein to support your health. And so we had a good time on them, but we didn't cut body fat. Right. So here we are, we're in the gym. We're trying to cut body fat off. Sure. We're improving your health. We're increasing the size and strength and density of your muscles, but we're not getting rid of the fat. Right. We all want to get rid of the fat. Yeah. That's why you're here. So we were like, okay, what do we do? So Josh and I, when the gym was doing a Lazy Macros Challenge about 2 years ago, we said, let's see what it takes to stay within a calorie range that lets us drop fat. So he and I, during that challenge with the gym, we logged all our food and we made sure we stayed under the calories that we needed to make sure our body could drop fat off. And what we discovered is that we couldn't eat anything else besides fruits, vegetables, and protein sources. If we went off and had just, a little piece of toast here or a little bit of this or a little bit of that, it put us in a caloric range that didn't let the body lose fat. And so with that discovery, we're like, let's see what happens to other people when we do this. Because, we're an alien species that don't apply. That's what you guys think. We know. Right. We know. Yeah, but that's you, not us. So we applied it to regular people. And they had the same results. In fact, their results were so awesome. We were like, dang, we're onto something, right? And what we love too about this is the simplicity of it. People didn't have to log their food. They could just focus on eating lots of fruits and vegetables and sources of protein, and they would lose fat. They would maintain or even build muscle and get healthier. So we're taking care of the health, but we're also dropping the body fat. Okay. And then we applied this in the clinical setting with patients, and we saw the same results. The only difference we saw was that when we applied this in the clinical setting, we didn't have as much control of the exercise. In the gym, we have lots of control of the exercise. So we're getting people in here working out 5 to 6 days a week. They're doing the protocol. Fantastic. Just amazing results. We're talking 8 pounds of fat off the body within 4 weeks, right? With no muscle loss, which is just mind-blowing. In the clinical setting, we weren't getting the same training done. And so we didn't get results as quickly. So that's where I go back to, you need to move the body. To get the results that is possible with this program, you need to move your body. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. So that's where the Quick Cut Challenge came from. It's these programs plus our discovery that if you just don't do anything else, it puts you in the caloric range to drop body fat while also improving your health and maintaining muscle. Sound all right? You guys good with that? Of course you are. We're all good with that, right? You're like, no, I'll leave the muscles behind. No. Good. So there's just a simple breakdown of what we're talking about. Fruits and vegetables, health, protein, muscle, everything else, purposeless, drop it. We end up in what's called a calorie deficit. You guys familiar with these two words? Anyone not sure? A little shaky. Okay. So calorie is a unit of energy. Just like we say watts when we're talking about electricity, calorie is a unit of energy. It's the amount of energy it takes to heat 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. Okay. It's just a measurement of energy. We talk about calories in 2 ways. We talk about the calories that we exert when we do exercise or activity, right? Your watch says, oh, you burned 2,000 calories today, right? It's talking about how much energy you used up. How much gasoline did you utilize today, right? But we also talk about, and more often, the calories we take in. That's the amount of gasoline we're taking in. Okay. So it's the same definition. It's just one is fuel going in and one is fuel being used and going out. Cool. So when we're trying to lose weight, the basic philosophy of making your body smaller is that you need to bring in less fuel than you're putting out, right? You need to bring in less. So your body has to utilize the fuel that's stored in our fat. Cool. That's very basic. There's a lot more to it. But if we get you into a deficit, that's one of the conditions where the body will go, all right, let me use up that fat that we've been holding on to and use that up for fuel because he's not giving me more. No, that's very different. Yeah. But so that's keto is another way. We do achieve a deficit often in keto, very often, because it's hard to eat that much when you're just eating fat. But ketosis is when your body switches from using carbohydrates as your primary source of fuel to using fat as your primary source of fuel. And ketones are the byproduct of doing that. Okay, so that's what shows up in your blood and urine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you're in ketosis. Okay, that's a very different method. But what is in common and what's in common with a lot of our nutritional plans is that it puts you into a deficit so that your body will utilize fat. Deficit means less than you need, right? Tracking with that? Any questions? Does that answer the cool? So we achieve health, we achieve muscles, and we achieve fat loss by doing that. Cool? All right.
So this week we're focusing on protein, right? Like we said, protein is all about maintaining that muscle. And that's what we want to do as we're going through it, right? So as you're working out, as you're doing all those things, the more muscle we're hanging on to, the better it's going to help that fat loss come around, okay? So our goal, and you guys all have a sheet right in front of you, go and pick that up. We're going to calculate out our goal protein for every single day, right? So if you look on there, 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. So I'm going to pull out your phones, your calculators, and right at the top, you've actually got a spot for you to calculate that out and write it down.
So do you use your current weight or your projected weight?
So we can use your current weight, right? If we have, and so some people, right, this is a great question. If we're like, okay, I have a whole bunch of weight to lose, right? Like let's say we're looking to lose 100 pounds. Well, that's going to be a lot of protein beyond what we actually need, right? And so then we may use our target weight in that case, okay? So go ahead and calculate that. Make sure it's written up at the top so you know exactly what your target is for protein.
Well, I did mine by hand here.
Okay.
And it says 179.
Okay, so we may want to use your target weight.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. But that is possible. But yeah, we'll probably bring it down to your target weight.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this target or this
Going for this
protein per day.
Right.
Is that a baseline? Is that to maintain, or does that
Right. So
encompass like muscle?
So in kind of a little background, right? If you go and look at the RDA, the Registered Dietary Association, they say 0.8 grams per kilogram, which is very little. And so that's what all the recommendations were before. And that was literally to stay out of a deficit of having being so malnutrition that we don't have any protein. So this number is to actually help you build muscle so more than maintain, but build. Right?
Didn't that recommendation, sorry guys,
Yeah,
we're going
it's
to dive into
really
something
old.
we don't know really well, but didn't that come from World War II?
Right.
And it was the bare minimum
Exactly.
to keep soldiers alive, not
Yeah.
healthy, alive.
Yeah.
That was where that number came from, and it's just not enough
So
for health.
a lot of the recommendations for that are just way low now. And so we're recognizing, oh no, you need more to actually thrive and build muscle. Yeah, because we're not in World War II, right? And we want to build that muscle. Okay, so that's where that number is coming from. How many of you looking at it and you're like, that's a lot of protein? Yeah, right?
Still,
maybe,
Rosemary, it's still a lot?
Well, it's 126.
Okay.
Okay, that's...
So one of the
closer,
things that
yeah.
we find is Josh goes, that's not that much, because he eats like a ridiculous
That
amount of
isn't-
protein.
Mhm.
But here's the thing, right? He does like 200 a day.
Yes.
So here's the thing. It feels like a lot because you're not used to it. That's all it is. Okay. So we get used to really low amounts of protein, 50 grams of protein a day, right? It
Right.
doesn't mean that's what's healthy for your body. It's just like we get used to 5 hours of sleep a day. It doesn't mean that's what's healthy for your body. It will feel like a lot because it's way outside what you're used to. But the truth is, our healthy bodies that we build every day in here are eating over 100 grams every day, every single one without fail. 100 grams would be a bad day. Okay. So it feels like a lot because it's different, but it's actually not a lot. Okay.
And that's what we're talking about next is, if this looks like a lot to you, how can we make that more manageable? How can you make sure you're getting it throughout the day? And if we're used to eating 40 grams of protein and we're saying, let's get to 90, we have to have some strategy to get there, right? Because it's going to be a big change for you. And also, one of the things we ran into, people said, I'm so full. It gets better the more your body gets used to having that amount of protein that it needs. Okay.
And that's also one of our tricks.
Exactly.
Right? Because you're eating more protein, you're not going to be hungry for the other stuff. You're going to be so full. This is a good thing, right? So you just ate 40 grams of chicken or 40 grams of protein in chicken. You're not like super interested in the chips and salsa anymore. Yeah.
Yep. So how do we make this easier to get all of that in, right? Number one, we have up here, prioritize lean protein sources. So lean protein sources are going to have less fat in them, right? Fat also helps us or makes us full. So if we're having more lean options, we're not going to get quite so full off those protein sources, okay? And then eating your protein first. If you're used to having, I'm going to eat the bread, I'm going to eat the vegetables, everything else first, you're getting through that, and then it's like, oh, I don't have room for my protein. Switch it up. Right? Prioritize that protein so you get it in there, and then we don't fill up on the chips and salsa. We don't fill up on the other things. So making that like, this is what I'm going to eat first, and then move into whatever else is there. Spreading throughout I'm going to skip this one for a second. Spread it throughout your day. So if you have a goal of 120, don't find out at dinner time that you need to eat 100 grams of protein, right? Take that and divide it. So, okay, I'm going to have 40 with each meal, or even more. I'm going to have 20 with each meal and then sneak in some snacks and get some more protein in there. Part of it's strategizing so that you don't run into that issue at the end of the day. Because trying to eat 100 grams of protein at night, it's not going to happen, right? It's pretty difficult. And then the other thing is sneaking in additional protein. So, there's certainly... You can use cottage cheese and different things. You can use Greek yogurt and things. We can even get into the protein powders and the supplements, and you can use those in your meals to bulk them up, right? To get them more protein. It doesn't have to be, I'm just going to eat all this meat. Okay, I'm going to have some eggs, but I'm going to have some cottage cheese in there, right? And that's going to pump it up a little bit more. And then if you're like someone who does a smoothie, put some protein powder in there, put some milk in there, right? Put something else that's going to basically take that protein and bump it up. Okay. And then this here is just so you can kind of start to get an idea of how much protein is in the things you're eating. And that's on your sheet in front of you too. Why don't you look through your sheets that you have there and star everything that you eat? Or circle or whatever you want. And you can skip the crossed out section on there. So hopefully you have a good amount of stars on there as far as things that you eat and can work into your day. So if you're ever going through and you realize, I'm really tired of chicken, take out this sheet and see, okay, I can fit this in here. I can have this instead, start to mix it up. And also on there, it gives you actually how many grams per serving you're getting in there too, okay? And that's what this part here, just to demonstrate, right? Each of these columns is 100 grams of protein, just so you can see exactly like, so in this day, the person had 2 boiled eggs in the morning and then some chicken breast lunchtime, right? Scoop of protein shake and then fish at night. It's not like it's not huge amounts, right? We can basically spread it out throughout the day and see that. Go for it. Okay. Right, yeah, this would be pretty small, right? So that's where we have, we have a breakfast meat options, right? We also have Greek yogurt, you can get in there, cottage cheese. Maybe you're having a protein shake with your eggs, right? And that's where all these little, like, get some ideas off your sheet there too, okay? And then this here, talk about yogurt, there's an option right there. This shows the cottage cheese with fruit, jerky, lentils, so we get into some of those vegetarian sources, and then steak in the evening. And then same thing over here. This one adds in a little bit more of those supplements, but we also have seeds and we have some other vegetables. So I know we have some vegetarian people here, right? So that's where you're going to have to take a look and make sure those are adding up and kind of mixing up some of those sources for you. Okay?
It's going to be way harder doing this without meat. That is just part of the deal, right? If you're going to forego meat, you're going to have to really work at getting in your protein. One thing to know is adding grains to beans, to lentils, makes a complete protein. Now, in the quick cut, we don't do grains. Grains are out, right? So we've got to look at other ways to add in those proteins. And for you guys, it might take supplements to do this. That's one of the things that we've found on all of our nutrition experiments with our own bodies, is that whenever you cut out major food groups, big parts of the diet, you have to supplement to replace what is now missing, right? So we've done keto, had to supplement. We did carnivore, had to supplement. We did, I did vegan, had to supplement, right? Like there's things that we need from these groups. And when you take them and you ditch them, you have to supplement. You have to take something man-made to replace what those natural foods were giving you. Okay? So, yeah.
When you say grains, can you clarify what you mean? Do you have oats on there?
Yeah, this is just an example of what 100 grams of protein looks like. This is not what our box looks like. We're going to get to that in a minute. Yeah. So does that make sense? This is kind of cool that you guys are doing this while maintaining vegetarian. Do you guys eat eggs? So
we could not do this because we've tried.
Yeah.
Until adding eggs back in, we had a Greek yogurt back in.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So we're vegetarian.
We wouldn't say we're full vegetarian.
Okay.
We're vegan, but
Cool. So fish is great.
yeah.
Do you do eggs or fish or anything like that?
I started eating fish because it was really hard to
Get your protein. Yeah.
I eat fish.
Great. Okay. So those are amazing options, right? And one thing I like that I find when I get sick of my proteins, I eat a lot of like tri-tip and chicken and tri-tip and chicken and chicken and tri-tip is I add fish, right? And I love scallops and I love shrimp and I love different types of fish to give you different flavors and textures of meat, right? So go crazy on the fish, right? If that's working. Okay, good. Well, that's great. That's going to make it easier.
Yeah, the other thing on supplements, right, is make sure they're supplements, right? They're not replacing whole meals with that supplement, right? They're supposed to supplement your protein. So if we can, we want to choose the whole meal options, whole food options. But if you're like, I'm never getting to this number, that's where the supplements come in, okay? They also tend to not fill us up as much, right? The protein powders, like if you look at the ingredients, protein is the primary thing. And so they don't have fat in there. They don't have a bunch of fat or anything else in there. So they tend to not take up as much room in that stomach.
Yeah, what we noticed too, like in our research, is some of those protein powders, some of them are packed with sugar.
Right.
Mhm.
And so we're like, well, wait a minute, isn't that the goal is to eliminate the sugar, but we need the protein.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we're like constantly.
Yeah, supplements are rough, right?
Mhm.
And really, like, have you ever had a protein powder that has no added sweeteners to it? Anyone ever try it?
Eat protein.
Yep. Anyone ever try a protein powder that has no added sweeteners? Have you tried it? You've tried it? They're
Yeah,
awful.
they're
We
not
won't
good.
eat them. I tried really, really hard, right? They're gross. So, you know, when it comes to supplements, they have to add sweeteners or people won't consume them. Okay. So you have, that's part of the deal. You can always do the gross ones, but if you've tried it and it didn't work, well, then there you go. There's your answer. The other thing we've seen is that when folks do this, and we're going to talk about the box in just a second, but you know, it's inside the box to eat things that give you protein as a source of protein, even supplements as part of being in the box. Okay. But when folks forget about the eating food that Josh just mentioned, you've got to eat food, and they start to just use supplements to get their protein. We're talking shake in the morning, bar at lunch, shake at night instead of a meal. The results don't come as well. They really don't, because of all the other stuff that comes with it. The added sugars, even if they're 0-calorie sweeteners, all of that stuff, whatever else they put in there. I mean, there's some bars that are like, they're on the line, right? They're like, oh yeah, we give you 30 grams of protein and 29 grams of carbs. You're like, is that a source of protein? I mean, yeah, because it's more protein than carbs. But really, right? Like, you might as well just go eat a cookie and an egg. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's like, are you sure you want that bar? You know? So there's ways to do this that's like, okay, I'm really committed to getting these results. And there's ways to follow the rules as close to the edge as you can, right? And that's those protein supplements. Yeah.
So I'm sure that you'll get to this, but
Yeah.
we have recommended protein supplements, like a list of things that you guys have found that
Yeah.
work. Okay.
The
Okay.
best protein supplement out there is meat.
Oh.
That's the best one. That is absolutely hands down the best one. Get some meat and eat it. That's the best thing you can do, whether it's shrimp or scallops or fish or beef jerky or ground turkey or pork or, got any more? Lamb. You're going to live on lamb.
Right.
I don't like lamb. It's one of the only meats I won't eat. I will eat it and then go, yep, still don't like it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I think we're ready to get into the box.
Yes.
Good. I keep talking about this box.
So go ahead and flip to your next page. And this is, we call it our do's and don'ts. We're gonna start with the do's because we want to know what we are eating, right? And with this, the do's, it's all about eating a bunch of do's, right? Like, we don't want you to go hungry on this. That's number one, right? You shouldn't be hungry at any time. And so you can eat as much as you want, okay? So number one, consume sources of protein. This is the one, that means all meats, all fish, all eggs, like all of those things are sources of proteins. When we get into protein bars and shakes and dairy, here it says more grams of protein than carbs or fat. Okay, so that means for those things that are not just meat, eggs, and fish, right? We're going to look at our container, right? We've got our container, probably pretty close.
It's probably the same thing.
I was wondering.
Pretty
that.
close.
Yeah.
Yogurt.
And you're going to look, okay, I'm eating this for protein. So you're going to look at your protein. You're going to say, okay, it's 16 grams. And then you're going to look up and you're going to see, okay, is that more than carbohydrates? Yes, in this case, right? And then you're going to look back and you're going to say, is the protein also more than the fat? In this case, it's yes. So yes, I can eat this. Because when we say sources of protein, it's literally we're using this for our protein. So any of those protein supplements, the bars, those, you know, the ones that are labeled as protein bars, make sure you turn that thing around and look at what are you actually getting from it and compare the protein to the carbs and protein to fat. Okay, that would be okay. Make sense?
You can also ask yourself, why am I eating this?
Yes.
Why am I eating this? if the answer is because I'm trying to get protein, it's probably a source of protein. You just want to check to be sure you're not being tricked into eating cookies in your protein.
Yeah, funny story. So I had bought this protein powder while I was on vacation. I was like, great, I'll add it to my yogurt. It's gonna be awesome. And so then I was eating it for a while. I got home. I was still using it because it tasted so good. And then it was labeled Chips Ahoy, and I was thinking they just labeled it that way. I turned it around, and there's literally pieces of Chips Ahoy in my protein powder.
Cookies in his protein powder, like
yeah,
in the
like
protein powder.
little chunks. Yeah, it's like, well, that's why it
He's
tastes
eating
so good.
cookies for breakfast.
Yeah. So don't fall for that.
Silly
right?
goose. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he bought it for a source of protein, but
Yeah.
then forgot to
It
check
did-
the ingredients.
It did follow this, but I was still
You gotta
eating
look at
cookies
your
for
ingredients.
breakfast. Yeah, so don't do that,
Oh.
right? But yeah, that's our sources of protein. All okay. Right?
Okay, another confusion that happens is sometimes people wonder, well, is it like if you add it together, it has more protein than the other two? So if you add the fat plus the carbs, right? If you add those together, does it have to have less grams than the protein? I mean, that would be great. That means it's an even better source of protein. But our general rule that's worked for the last couple years with people is think of them as 3 different teams. You've got the fat team, the carb team, and the protein team. 3 teams competing against each other. Protein needs to win. Make sense? Okay.
Okay. And then the other things on the do's list, all fruits and vegetables. Okay, that means potatoes, that means corn, that means olives, that means beans. Anything that grows as a fruit or vegetable is in. And that's where you're going to eat a lot of those things, right? If you're hungry, have more of these things. And then our nuts and seeds, as long as they don't have any added sugar in there. Okay, those are also in. And then the dairy, like I said, comes back to our sources of protein. Okay? So if you are shopping and you go to the produce department, everything in there, you pick it up, it's all okay, right? It doesn't have a label on it, go for it. It's all good, right? If it's meat, fish, eggs, those things, also you don't have to look at the label unless it's got like whatever, seasonings and stuff. Marinade, that's the word I'm thinking of. Yeah. Then they're okay, right? If we go and we buy something that's packaged, right? And let's say you buy a soup that's made. You have to look at the ingredient list on this, right? That's where you have to make sure there's nothing else besides vegetables and fruit if you have a weird soup, and protein, right? If there's anything else in there, if it says sugar, if it says some weird chemical that you don't know, it's out. Okay? If it's also packaged and you know, okay, it's got some weird stuff in here, then we need to go back to our label.
So it's either fruit, vegetables, or a source of protein.
Yep.
Fruit,
What it comes
vegetables,
back
or a
to.
source of protein. That's all you got to know. I'm either eating fruit, vegetables, or a source of protein. If it's anything else, it's out.
Yep.
Right?
Or nuts and seeds.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Nuts
Yeah.
and seeds, we let that in too. Can be overdone though.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably not. Yeah, preferably you're eating whole fruit. It's not necessarily out, and actually dried fruit is a great way to help kick sugar cravings.
Mm-hmm.
So like having a date or two when you really want to have ice cream or chocolate or things like that can super help. So it's not necessarily out, but it's not within the box in terms of things that are going to increase your health outcomes, support your muscle mass, and help you lose fat. It's not in those categories. Yeah?
And make sure there's no extra sugar in there.
Yeah, sometimes they dry up the fruit
Okay.
and then dip it in sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they put stuff in it, they last long and be packaged.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So like use it as you need, but it's not the best choice. Dried fruit. Yeah.
Right,
Dried
right,
fruit platters
exactly.
every day probably won't get us where we're trying to go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dried fruit's a way better option than like a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halloween's
Definitely.
coming, guys.
It's
We need
true.
to strategize, okay? In fact, maybe I should teach them about my
Mhm.
candy bars, my date
Mm.
candy bars
Yeah.
right before Halloween so you guys can do something about it. It's really simple. It's coconut oil, cocoa powder, peanuts, and dates in the freezer. Tastes like a Snickers bar without all the problems.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll teach you.
That kind of brings up when we have those cravings, right? Go for something like a yummy protein bar or a shake where you're at least getting protein from it rather than the Snickers bar, right? Or go to sleep, right? If it's
That's a
late at
big
night,
deal.
It's true.
That's why it's in all capital letters. Go to bed. A lot of our sugar cravings happen at night when we're tired. What is your body telling you when it's tired? Do you know what it's saying? It's saying you need energy. I need energy. I need energy. I need energy. What's our best source of energy? Sugar, right? So I'm tired. I need energy. Sugar, right? So if you instead you go, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. Unless you're a good like sleep eater, sleepwalker, sleep eater, you're good, right? Get your sleep instead of your sugar. So go to bed is super valid. Yeah. I was up late last night because my son had a church thing that started at 8 o'clock at night. That's so late for me. It was a lock-in. It was overnight. I was like, this is crazy. So anyways, I was up late last night, which is like, that's really late for me. And I wanted chocolate so bad. I was like, this is awful. Like, I was like, I want chocolate. And I went to bed. I did it. I made it out alive. But yeah, like that's your body when you're tired is like, give me sugar. It's a very normal thing. You're not weird for craving sugar when you're tired. And if you walk around tired all day, sugar cravings are going to be even heightened, even more heightened.
I read something interesting either yesterday or today about chocolate.
Yeah.
Cocoa.
Yeah.
That it's anti-inflammatory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is okay.
Yes, the actual cocoa bean.
Right.
Yes, the actual cocoa bean, the actual plant. It's a bean, and beans are on our list. But all the things they add to the cocoa is the problem. Mm-hmm. It's not the cocoa itself. So here's one of the things we do, because I like chocolate, is we get the baking powder. It's just straight cocoa beans in a powder form, and you can add it to your coffee, your protein shakes to make it chocolate flavored with peanut butter, or chocolate strawberry flavored, double, right? Mm-hmm. You can make chocolate bars out of it, right? Where you are controlling the ingredients. We make chocolate brownies out of it, where we use applesauce, cocoa powder, dates, bananas, peanut butter. You can do all sorts of things to your brownies. But yes, cocoa's fine as long as it's just cocoa, right? Yeah. It's not the cocoa that's the problem. It's all the other things they put with the cocoa. Making sense? Cool. Getting you hungry yet?
Yeah, right.
We make some fun stuff at home.
On the do's, we want you to eat lots of the do's. Okay? Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. You ready for the don'ts? Take a deep breath. Here we go. We're going in. Okay. All right, so added sugars, right? We started paying attention, and added sugars, anything added to your food to make it sweet. We're trying to avoid the added sugars. If it's an added sugar that's helping you get protein down, that's our exception. Protein shakes are gonna have added sugars, whether they're a sugar alcohol, a 0-calorie sweetener, monk fruit, blah, 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 right? The list goes on. There's gonna be added sugar in your protein supplements. As long as there's more protein than carbohydrates in those supplements, we're fine. Making sense? Everything else, we're just avoiding the added sugar. So ketchup, ranch dressing, barbecue sauce, blah, 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 blah. Added sugars, right? You guys know about those, right? Okay. Did you have a question, Beverly? What's the added sugar? I mean, just try to find something else. There's dressings out there that are great that they're not adding sugar to. It can be really tricky too, because what they do sometimes on those labels is they make the serving size so small, and there's, okay, yeah. So, it's probably not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. And that's one of the things you're going to find out on this plan is you don't have to be perfect. Okay, so these are the rules, and there's going to be imperfections, and that's what this plan's all about, is about figuring out how to live life with the rules so you can be imperfect but still get to your goals. Cool? Okay. Alcohol is completely out, right? So alcohol is gone. It is completely outside the box for the next 4 weeks.
What if you're using a sugary drink, or like, what are the parameters? Can I make an exception for non-alcoholic wine substitute?
Only if it gives you, yeah, so only if it gives you more protein than carbohydrates or fat. If it's not a fruit, vegetable, or meat, it needs to give you more protein than fats or carbohydrates, okay? So for this, alcohol is completely out. It is outside the box. Realize if you do that, you are going outside the box. You're going off plan is what we call it, okay? Drinks, sugary drinks, sodas, juice. Juice is not a piece of fruit, okay? Juice is out. No juice, okay? I am a juiceaholic. I found that out like 10 years ago. I love juice. If there's juice in my house, I will drink the whole jug in about 1 hour. Just glass after glass after glass. It is so good, right? So juice is completely out. It's just too high a dose of the great things that make fruit delicious, right? They take all the good stuff out of the fruit, nutritious stuff out of the fruit, and they just give you the sugar, right? That's what juice is. No juice. Don't consume anything you know bugs your stomach. Okay, so you guys know, everyone's got a list. If I eat peanuts, too many peanuts, I'm going to have stomach issues, right? Some people it's almonds. Some people it's eggs. Some people it's, you have a weird one. What's yours?
Apples.
Apples.
Right?
Right?
Apples.
Don't eat things that upset your tummy. Okay, like we're trying to get your body to operate like a fine-tuned machine. And if you're adding stuff to it that tweaks it and makes it do weird things, it's not helping the system. Don't do that. Okay, if you're allergic to dairy, don't add dairy into your nutrition, please. Don't do that. It's not going to help us get to your goals. Okay. Consume no grains, no pastas, no breads, no quinoa. Yes, we know it's a seed, but you eat it like a grain. Okay. No grains whatsoever. Why? Because grains do not help increase your health outcomes. Fruits and vegetables do. And they do not help support your muscle mass. Meat and sources of protein do. Grains give you way more carbohydrates than they do protein. Way more. And as soon as you cut these out, you guys are going to get to see what a difference it makes. The cool thing about this is totally against the grain. Get it? That was a good one. That just came out of nowhere. This is totally against the grain, right? Like, that's not what society does. Society eats grains. Society eats added sugars. This is totally against the book, okay? But what's really great is that we're going to do this together as a group. So we're going to support each other. You have us on your phones if you need to text us. And then in 1 week, you're going to come in here and you're going to see what it does for you. And it won't matter that that's not what your uncle and your dad and your sister and your brother are doing. It won't matter because you're going to get to see the difference for you. And that's all that matters, okay? So this is the hardest one right here. This is going to be the hardest one. You're going to run into things all week long, and it's just completely out. It's outside the box, okay? Tracking?
Even quinoa, if you eat less meat. So we have a quinoa cereal. We do with protein powder, some almond milk, as a base for more protein.
Yep, it's out.
Right.
It's out. We only say this because we've experimented with this, and it's one of the things that's out. When folks eat quinoa, results slow down or they don't come because they eat too much, and it's too much carbohydrate.
It's really easy to overeat these things.
Yeah.
Right? They add up really quick.
Yeah, I think I experienced that this week
Yeah.
because I increased my quinoa.
Yeah.
We were having more
Yeah.
cereal. We do yogurt with protein powder, and then we put in some blueberries and raspberries and walnuts and stuff like that. So
That's
then
great.
We substituted the yogurt for the quinoa.
So yogurt would be a better choice.
Exactly.
Right.
So we do have the yogurt, but
Yeah.
we just happen to have a big bag of quinoa. Like, well, let's make it.
Yeah.
We have enough for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You know, and,
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you don't have chia seed on here. Is that?
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's in the box. Now realize the list of proteins that you have there is just to give you an idea where protein comes from. It doesn't mean it's in or out of the box. We're not giving you a list of foods to eat and not to eat. We're telling you the general box, what's inside and what's outside. Okay. So, good. The other thing you just mentioned was almond milk. So nut milks are out. You can eat nuts, but not a derivative of the nut. Nut flours are out. Nut milks are out. Nuts are in. Here's why. It's no longer the nut. It's been changed in a way that is no longer serving your body well. If you eat the nuts, you get so many great things from it. Nut flours and nut milks have been reduced down to something your body's going to handle completely differently than the nut itself. Okay? So nut flours like almond flour, coconut flour, although coconut's not a nut, it's a fruit. We've had that debate. Those types of things where it's been ground down into a flour, those are out of the box. The almond milks, the coconut milks, the oat milks are out of the box. Okay? So you're going to have to start finding other solutions for where these things are in your diet. Making sense? Did you have a question, Rosemary, or somebody over here? I got it? Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so there is, so soy milk has more protein. There are some soy milks that have more protein than carbs. And pea milk. Pea milk.
Yes.
Ripple.
Ripple. And then
It's all right.
as far as
plain.
actual milk, you have to get Fairlife milk.
Yeah.
So Fairlife, it's a brand. It has more protein than it does fat.
Yeah, and it's
Or carbs.
Or carbs, yeah.
It's the most expensive milk.
Right.
It's dairy.
It's
That's actual milk.
free, but
Yeah.
it is dairy.
Is
It's
Pea.
a pea.
Mhm. Yep. So the Fairlife company, what they do is they filter the milk of lactose, which is one of the carbohydrates. Lactose is a sugar naturally occurring in milk, so no big deal. But a lot of us are have a hard time with lactose. So what they do is they take the lactose out, and then by doing that, they end up with a higher concentration of protein because they've now removed the sugar. So you'll see the ratios are completely different on lactose-free milk, specifically Fairlife. Okay, the other brands are a little iffy. They might add in other sugars to make up for the lactose, right? But Fairlife is a safe milk to have in terms of a source of protein. And if you don't have an irritation to dairy, Fairlife is awesome.
Yeah.
I can drink a glass of milk and get 20 grams of protein by just drinking milk. I never thought I'd be a milk drinker until I found this out. I never grew up on milk. We never did milk. But then again, there was no lactose-free milk back when I was a kid, back in the olden days.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you'd like that, Rosemary. So that's the milks. Okay. There are some other products out there. You guys are going to be doing a lot of flipping, a lot of this, a lot of looking at labels. Okay. But remember, if it's fruit, vegetable, or meat, you don't need to look. Okay. If it's just fruit, vegetables, or meat, eat. Don't worry about it. If you're going to do things that are labeled, you got to flip and look for that protein. Okay. Fried foods are out, completely out. Whenever you fry food, you just destroy the value of the food. So potatoes are in. Have a baked potato. Get in there. Try a little plain Greek yogurt on it. Some green onions, some chives, yum,
Some
bacon.
Yeah.
Like go crazy, right? But once you throw that beautiful potato into a fryer, a oil fryer, not an air fryer, do your air fryer, get after it. But oil, right? You are now zapping that potato of nutrients and filling it with some fats that aren't great for the body. Okay? So nothing deep fried. Everyone okay with that? Anyone shocked that I'm like, French fries are out? Onion rings are out? Okay, good. Okay, and then we're down to these sauces, dressings with added sugar, right? We already talked about those. Any questions on the don'ts? No? Good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready.
So, what would it look like for broth? Like vegetable broth? Like vegetable broth? Because
Get after it.
okay.
Now check your broth.
Yeah.
Have you ever done okay, so I got really into broth one time. I do this. I get really into things. I spent like an hour in the broth aisle. I know, it was really fun. So you got to flip them. There's some wonderful broths out there. Bone broth gives you tons of protein, but they add sugar to it a lot.
Yeah.
So you got to find your brands, and you can't just trust a brand because the different flavors of broth, they do different stuff to it. You might go, oh man, I found it. And then you go look at the beef one and you're like, why is there sugar in that one? Right? So you got to flip. You got to do the flip in the broth. But broth is great. Yeah.
Would it also do the same thing for like, I think it's called broth base. So like I use not chicken, and it's like a base, and you add it to water because it gives you this like chicken, it gives you like chicken. So
Yeah.
just check this.
You got to flip it.
Just flip it. Okay.
Got to flip it. I don't know.
Okay, like what would be the recommendation for like I try to make my like I'm not a big sauce person, but I try to make my own sauces. So like I try to make like
Tomato?
I say just flip it, but like I try to make my own ketchup and barbecue sauce so that
Cool.
it doesn't have a lot of sugar. Would it just basically be like flip it to make sure the tomato paste I'm using isn't a lot?
Yeah.
And then they have you add in like sugar and all that like like maple syrup, but I always cut that. So what I just have to like
You just wouldn't add sugar
Just
to
don't
it.
add the sugar.
Yeah. That's rad that you make your own sauces. Can you bring some for us? I'll take a barbecue sauce and a pasta sauce.
I will.
Actually, pasta sauce isn't that hard to find sugar-free. There's lots of tomato sauces out there that don't have sugar in them. Yeah.
And then, okay, so you said no fried food, that's fine because you said the air fry is okay. And then I know you said like no flours and you need nut flours. But like, what cornstarch, where does that fall?
That's a weird one. I don't think anyone overeats cornstarch.
Okay, because I like to make crispy tofu in my air fryer, and I just
Yeah, you use cornstarch. I've never seen that be a problem unless you eat a lot of cornstarch. Then we'll talk. Let us know.
I don't eat a lot of cornstarch, but I typically follow the crispy tofu most nights. So
Okay.
I just put it in the air fryer.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem. No.
It's not even a cup. It's like
Right.
Yeah, you're
like a
probably fine.
tablespoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can do baking soda too.
I think so.
Yeah, it just absorbs the moisture. So it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What happens when you do it on tofu?
No, not the baking soda on tofu. That would not. It's bitter. It's actually bitter when you actually taste baking soda.
Yeah. I've done it on chicken wings.
I'm old enough that you used to brush your teeth with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
right.
it's really gross. But I've done baking soda on chicken wings and it dries it out so it gets crispy in the air fryer, but you don't taste the baking soda. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't say cornstarch is a problem. Yeah. Mhm. Good questions. Really good questions.
That brings up one very great thing is part of this whole week and part of going forward is figuring out how to eat within the box with what you normally do, right? So the problem solving is part of this process. So you can see like, oh, I want to have this. What can I have that's in the box and make it work, right? Because that's the one thing is people go through this and it becomes applicable to your life, right? Something that you can do long term because you figured out early on how to replace those things.
Exactly. And that takes us back to our purpose. If you remember from last week, we talked about the purpose of this is to find something that works for you in your life, with the people around you, in your house, with your preferences. Okay. Meal plans, right? I get this question all the time. Does it include a meal plan? That's what it sounds like in my ears when I hear it, right? And I'm like, no, because if I give you a meal plan, that's what I eat. Those are my preferences, right? You need to find what you eat and your preferences and how to solve for your life, right? And this is about solving together. We provide the community, the support, the you can do it that you need to solve those problems. Those are hurdles that you will overcome. And once you've overcome them, that's it for the rest of your life. Now you know, right? So yes, you're going to run into lots of problems this week. You guys are already identifying them going, oh, that's a problem. Oh, that's going to be a problem. How am I going to do that? What about my coffee? What am I going to put in my coffee? That's like the biggest problem of them all. And no one even mentioned it. Okay. So you guys are going to have to start problem solving this. You want to steam your whole Fairlife milk and then pour that into your coffee. That's awesome. If you have to have sweet coffee, you get a Fairlife protein shake and add that to your coffee. That's your new creamer. Those are how you solve those.
I don't see those a lot of places. Where can I buy the protein?
Right there.
Right there. Costco.
Costco has
Yeah.
them too, yeah.
But Fairlife is everywhere. Their protein shakes are gas stations, supermarkets, Walmart. You can buy them on Amazon. Costco has them. The protein shakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They're just more protein than anything else, so they're a good source of protein. They do have added sweeteners, right? They do have all the stuff. So we got to be a little bit like, don't drink 3 a day, but if you're going to do a little bit in your coffee to sweeten up your coffee, fantastic. Like we have a lot of folks who do like mochas. They do coffee, Fairlife, bam, breakfast. It's 30 grams of protein in your coffee.
I was going to ask about sauteed vegetables. Is that fine?
Oh, get it.
The potato.
Get it.
Yeah.
But what about like
Bake it, saute it, grill it, go.
Go
Green
for it.
light.
Yep.
Yeah. Lots and lots and lots. You guys should not be hungry.
Yeah.
If you're hungry, you've made one mistake, and that is you didn't eat.
Yeah.
Go eat. There's so many things on this list. And if you're picky, anyone picky? Yeah? You're picky? Like you only have like 5 vegetables that you eat?
I have to be in the mood for it. So like yesterday, I just sat down for 4 hours and I was like, I don't know what to make. So I'm just gonna sit here hungry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so your new sport is eat. Go to the store, buy lots of berries, buy lots of yummy fruits that you know are good, that you like. Fill your fridge with fruits and vegetables that are there for you. You got to have it, right? You got to have it there and available. But yeah, that's your new sport is eating. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
We're on a plan to lose fat, but we're telling you to eat. The one of the big mistakes we make on this, probably the first mistake we make, is people aren't eating. And they're, my body's not changing. Well, and I'm starving all the time. Why are you starving? Eat, right? Your body's not going to change if it doesn't have food to work with. You got to give the body the food to work with. Cool? Okay. So this week is about staying inside the box. It's about focusing on that protein. This is our protein focus week where we want you to make sure you're getting your grams of protein. If you need to log it in an app to make sure you're getting enough, then log it in an app. If you need to write it on a Post-it note in your kitchen, I've got 30 grams from my Fairlife in my coffee. I've got, 14 grams from my 2 eggs. I've got 5 grams from the string cheese I stole from Georgie, right? Whatever. Just write it down, start adding it up, and then by the end of the day, make sure you're hitting your protein target. That's what this week is all about. And we're inside the box. Okay? The box.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I know the goal is to get the protein, but if we're gonna use like my fitness tracker and all that stuff, like what's should we try to be mindful of a certain amount of calories, or we just try to make sure that we hit our protein goal regardless?
We're not counting calories. In no part of this will we be counting calories. Yeah.
Would those be okay hypothetically if they were higher in protein?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So is that like, besides the fact that it's not a whole food, it's more
It's a protein supplement. You're taking it in for the protein.
well, what about calcium?
Fairlife milk is a great source in terms of, do you not drink milk? Do you not do milk?
I mostly try to avoid dairy, especially in certain forms like milk.
Okay.
Like cheese, I feel like it's okay with milk. So yeah, we have almond milk at home.
Are you worried about your calcium for some reason?
It's more for the kids.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Do you do yogurt?
Yeah, but not everybody will eat it. Like we switched to Greek yogurt because it's higher in protein. But
Yep.
if I go fat free, like
Why are you going fat free? Why are you going fat free?
well, would you say that?
No.
Some of them have a lot of fat.
Mm-mm. Eat the whole food.
But if it's unsweetened, they won't eat it.
Okay, but they're a separate problem. We have a whole lecture called people problems, and we'll address that but we're talking about you. Whole fat yogurt is what you want. Whole fat yogurt, whole fat milk, whole foods. Don't ditch the fat.
Yeah, no, I'm not entirely. Just like on some stuff,
Because you're trying to decrease the calories. Right. We hear you. We hear you. The really cool thing about these foods that are inside the box is they will naturally suppress your body's ability to eat too many calories because they have so much water, and fiber, and fat. Those 3 things will suppress your body's ability to overeat. It will naturally suppress your body's ability to overeat. If I gave you a watermelon and said, here, have this, how many calories do you think you're going to consume in that watermelon? I don't really know the answer, but it's not that many before you're like, right? Like that water, wow, I can't get my belly out. I'm sore. But like your belly's going to go like this and you have not eaten enough calories. You just ate as much watermelon as you could possibly. Why? Because the water. You're loaded with water, right? The calories you did eat came with so much water that it stopped you from eating more, okay? Fat is like that. This is one of the reasons keto works so well. Fat makes you so full. It shuts down the body's like eat mechanisms. It goes, ugh, no thanks, right? Protein also does this. You guys start hitting your protein, you're going to be like, I just don't want to eat anymore. I just don't want to. It shuts down the overeating problem because it's satiating. The body goes, we're good. We're good. We don't need the cookies. We don't need the crackers, the chips, the bread. Tracking? It does work. It does work. We know it works because we've tested it. It's not magic. It's science. We're learning more and more about why it's working. We learned first that it worked, and then we've been learning over the years why it's working so well. And there's a lot of reasons why it's working so well. There's a lot of ripple effects in this, okay? One of the positives is eating more fat. One of the positives is eating more protein. One of the positives is we're not eating the things that come in our processed foods that mess up our metabolism. That stuff goes away, right? The crappy oils, the added sugars, you're just not eating them because you're too busy eating fruits, vegetables, and meat. Does that make sense? So there's the works, period, and then there's why is it working so well, and there's a lot of reasons why. Make sense? Okay. Cool. Any other questions? This is a great discussion. You guys have anything else? People problems. We have a whole talk called people problems.
But my question is actually more on like cholesterol and stuff, because like we did plant-based,
Yeah.
lower cholesterol, and we were really strict with the plant-based and the stuff.
Yeah.
Other times it's just like, what is the real need, I guess, if you want to, for cholesterol or like coronary disease? Because the whole food plant-based people tell you it's all the animal products, everything
Right.
animal product, so what's, I just
Yeah.
feel like it's the truth. Somebody's missing something.
Right,
Somebody's
right.
lying, but I'm just like, there's more to the story.
Yeah. So to be honest, there's like, it's confusing because there's so many different viewpoints on it, right? You go and look at the studies from, back in the day, it was, okay, all these fats are causing the issue. You talk to somebody else and it's, no, this is causing the issue. There's a little bit of all of that together, right? So one of the reasons that some people go vegetarian or vegan and their cholesterol still is up is because all the processed foods are bringing that cholesterol up, right? The other thing we talk about in here is lean protein sources. Some people are really responsive as far as like, okay, if I eat bacon all the time and I have red meat all the time, the cholesterol will go up, right? And so part of it is seeing what your body's doing with that. And I know that's a, workaround answer, not workaround, but like it's a little bit different for everybody. Yes. So one thing that we found with everything, right, and this kind of goes back to our 800 grams, fruits and vegetables are not a problem, right? They are going to help cholesterol, right? They're going to help the good cholesterol. They're going to help the bad cholesterol come down. And then getting processed foods out of the picture is going to help the cholesterol come down, right? And getting those sugars to come down is going to help the cholesterol come down.
The other factor is that the standards for what healthy cholesterol is very shaky. It's very shaky right now. If you start looking up like what's going on in that whole arena of Like, why did the standard of blood cholesterol go from this to this? It was right when statins came out. So the standard was, this is fine. This is healthy cholesterol. This is no problem, right? And people have lived and survived well with higher cholesterol levels for hundreds of years. And then all of a sudden we're like, nope, cholesterol should be down here, right? And also cholesterol is a big fat generality, right? Mm-hmm. Because we have good cholesterol that we absolutely need in the body, and we have bad cholesterol. So when you look at just the overall cholesterol number, we're not talking about the problem. We need to talk just about the bad cholesterol, right? So those standards changed, and now you go up just a little bit over the standard, and what does your doctor do? Prescribes you that medication, right? So there's some iffy stuff going on the cholesterol thing, right? The way I like to look at all these, because it can get, like, I'm not even in the medical field, he is, it can get really convoluted. They say this, they say that, who paid for what, right? Mm-hmm. I watched, did anyone see the Formula One, the F1 movie? No, you guys didn't see that? Okay. I know nothing about cars, okay? But I watched a movie once, okay? And in this movie, there's this race car that's like introduced me to the whole subject of race cars. And this race car, it literally is fine-tuned in every aspect, the engine, the fuel, the way the body of the car is built, and it's tested. And these races are won by like seconds. Okay, so everybody has these amazing cars. Like every company out there has these amazing cars, and they race against each other, but you win by like tenths of a second, right? And they do these itty bitty little tweaks to the car to make it just like 1 second faster. Okay, like just 1 second, like one little tweak, and the car gets just a little bit faster. So when I think about the body, right, and we're trying to make your body into the most performance, proficient machine as possible. And when we're talking about performance, we're not just talking about being able to walk down the street. We're talking about metabolically. We're talking about digestively. We're talking about your immune system, all the things we care about. Growing healthy nails, having beautiful skin, all those things are part of the body's performance. And so, like, if we can just fine-tune the fuel, fine-tune the way you're moving, fine-tune these little things, it's going to increase your performance across the whole life, right? Even though it's just this little tiny thing. So like when we start to worry too much about the outputs, like, well, what is my blood sugar today? What is my cholesterol, my good and bad? Like we start worrying about these little things and just trying to fix the little things. We forget the big picture, which is we're just trying to get the whole machine operating really well. And sometimes little things, like little adjustments. Don't put anything in that irritates your digestive tract. That alone. We go, what does that have to do with me losing body fat? Well, I don't know exactly, but when you mess up the machine, it doesn't operate well. And that can't help, right? Take out all the things that aren't helping you. Let's just do the things that are helping you. And eventually you're going to have a winning race car. Does that make sense? So it is like all those little things, like get sunlight in your eyeballs and ground in the floor, like take your shoes off and stand in the grass, get in there. You know, you guys heard about grounding. I haven't tried it yet. I do try it, but then I put my shoes back on. You know, meditating at night, you know, sleeping with your mouth, right? There's so many things. Wearing little things on your nose that pull your nostrils out as you get more oxygen. There's so many things, right? Do the things that make a big difference. Stop worrying about the little things, right? These are the things that make a big difference and makes the whole system operate better. Okay, this is like whole system overload, right? And reconstruction. We're not pinpointing and trying to solve those little problems. One of my favorite things Josh says is treat the patient, not the labs. Treat the patient, not the labs. Right? The labs are the consequence. We have to treat the person. We got to work with you. Making sense?
One thing I can definitively tell you with all, because we've taken patients through this, we've taken athletes through this, when they focus and eat on plan, their health markers do improve, right? We're pulling on those really big things that we're changing, and we get the results we want. Right?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Like we've had people, sugars are normal that they haven't been normal in years, right? And all they did was, hey, I'm going to eat this way. Mm-hmm. So they pulled on those big levers of this is what I'm changing, and I'm not focusing on all the tiny pieces. And they got the results that we know should come. So
We probably have like over 100 stories, but some of the big
Yeah.
ones was we have someone who has been diabetic for like 20 years. She's been on insulin for 20 years.
mhm.
She did this for what, 8 months?
Yeah.
Maybe not even 6 months?
Yeah.
No
Something like that.
insulin. Absolutely
Got
none.
her off.
Completely off after 20 years of dealing with diabetes. Gone, right? We had somebody else who's only about, I think he's a month and a week in. He had colitis. Colitis is awful. This is the colon, and it like empties without you controlling it. You poop yourself. Yeah, just say it to you straight. You got to know where a bathroom is. Can't leave the house for too long. It is a terrible issue, right? It controls your life. He has been dealing with it for 10 years with doctors, trying to medications and this and that and therapies and blah, 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 blah. 6 weeks, actually only 2 weeks in, gone. What?
Yeah.
What? Like all he did was cut out processed food, added sugars and grains, and gone. He's fine. He can go out. He has a normal digestive tract all of a sudden. You just go, I mean, we didn't try to find a cure for colitis, but it just happens, right? We weren't trying to find, we're just trying to get body fat off, y'all. Trying to see your abs. That's it. That's what I'm about. Let's see those abs. Let's bring them out, you know? And it's solving a lot of medical problems.
Yeah.
So this is the thing when we were talking about, like, we know it works. We don't know why it's working so well. We're starting to discover more and more how well it's working and why on a like more cellular biological level. Cool? Yeah.
I have a question about tofu. I was very impressed with the protein content, but I've heard that
Go tofu.
yeah, I've heard organic that some people think it's bad for men.
Yeah, because it mimics estrogen in the body, but you'd have to eat a lot.
It'd be a lot.
Do you eat tofu?
No. I
Not
eat
even
meat.
in like miso soup.
I guess, yeah, in miso soup.
Bam,
If it's
tofu.
in my meal, sure, I'll eat it.
Sexist
I
tofu.
don't seek out tofu, though.
Yeah, you'd have to eat a lot for
Yeah.
it to be problematic for
Right.
men to eat.
Yeah.
And men like meat more than tofu usually. At least the ones I know.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll
See,
eat it,
told
but-
ya.
Yeah.
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 I know a thing or two. Yeah.
My son loves meat too.
Yeah, so soy has a similar.
Phytoestrogen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Mhm.
There's one brand of tofu that has double its protein. Oh, what is it?
Tell us. It's green?
No. the
Oh,
packaging.
I was like, I don't think that's a good thing.
That is moldy tofu.
Green. Yeah, they add a little fermentation to the tofu and bam, green. Yeah, great. Did you have a question? Okay, well, thank you guys for joining
Yeah.
us. Make sure you're paying attention to your scans.
Cook with it.
This week is
Fine.
going to be where we
Stress your
really
salad with
see
it.
the differences in your numbers.
It's fine.
Cool?
It's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Just don't
You're
drink
welcome. Yeah, please. Watch the step. There's a tricky step
Little
out there.
yellow
It'll
line.
kill you.